Destiny, why are you so retarded here? What do you mean? I don't think Palestinian is an ethnicity. Are we doing this now? Is like every single like group? No, there is no such thing as like there is no Palestinian ethnicity. In the times even of the mandate, it's not like the Palestinians were like an ethnically separate group from the Arabs living in Syria or the Arabs living in Jordan or the Arabs living in. I'm trying to think if I don't know like the sequence of independence for like Lebanon, Syria, and Iraq, where the borders are. But they weren't all like ethnically diverse people. Do you think Swedes are an ethnicity? No, don't like I don't know all the fucking dude. I'm not a Nazi, okay? I don't know all the British or not the British. I don't know all the European ethnicities, but aren't the main ones like was like Anglo-Saxon? I think were Germanic peoples. Is that an ethnicity? I don't fucking know all the different flavors of fucking ethnicity. But no, it's not like every country doesn't have like an ethnicity. I don't believe there's a separate like ethnic group of Swedes, an ethnic group of Norwegians, an ethnic group of Danish people, an ethnic group of Finnish people. Like, yeah, it's fucking retarded. That's not how Arabs see that, you dumbass. No. Arabs do not see nationality and ethnicity as the same fucking thing. What are you even talking about? And if you think that, you're just retarded. You can be retarded. I don't even want to say all Arabs are retarded. I don't think all Arabs believe that. That's just stupid. I don't think Arabs believe that. You're just wrong. Destiny, then your understanding of ethnic groups is retarded, Limo. Ethnic groups existed that grew into countries and later changed to modern day countries. Ethnic groups get defined by things like languages sometimes. All ethnic groups is a strong identification. Bro, my brother in Christ, do you think that the current borders that exist in European countries right now are like the borders that have existed for even 100 years, let alone 500 years? If ethnic group to you just means like group of people that are like kind of from an area and like want to have like a similar national identity, that's fine, I guess. I've never heard ethnicity used that way my entire life. If that's how you want to use ethnicity, that's fine. But at that point, the word literally means nothing. Am I like an ethnic Omahan or whatever? You can meme about ethnicity, but 90% of people view ethnicity differently than you. I'm pretty sure there's literally no like 100% accepted definition of ethnicity. Actually, I actually learned this during my Annalisa debate. Pretty sure ethnicity is considered different even in the United States versus Canada, where I think we swapped the definition of like ethnicity and race between Canada and the US. Because Annalisa said something about, I don't remember what it was, like ethnicity of like being, was it like white or something? And I was like, in the United States, we don't consider those ethnicities, we consider them races. And then she was like, and then she disagreed, and I thought she was just wrong. But then I looked it up in Canada, and then in Canada, in Canada, it's like a totally, they swap the definitions or whatever. But
with the social,
even genetically, like what an ethnic group is, or what a haplogroup is somewhat arbitrary in terms of definition. It's just stupid to claim. The reason why people say like Palestinian is an ethnicity isn't because they have any sort of like actual attachment to some scientific analysis of the people. It's just another bullshit attempt to try to give those people more validity than anybody else there. But it is literally the most retarded way to do it. If somebody's trying to argue in terms of like Palestinians are a national group or Palestinians are an ethnic group, it's a waste of fucking time. You just call them retarded and you move the fuck on easily. Boom. Send them a Giga chat and you move on. They have literally nothing of value to say to you. If you want to argue for Palestinian people rights, or if you want to argue for the rights of the people that exist in that area, whatever, you can make arguments for it. But if you're making an ethnic argument or whatever, then you're lost in the sauce. Okay, you're completely fucking lost. What would be a word for a cultural group? Because that seems to be what is usually hinted at. Hold on. I'm not gonna let you fucking retards gaslight me on this. If you want to pretend like ethnicity means only cultural group right now, that's fine, you can do that, but that is not how that word has been used in 99% of other circumstances, okay? Like, I have never in my life, now I feel like I'm gonna gaslight this, I've never in my life heard of somebody describe themselves as like ethnically Cuban. Is that a thing? I'm pretty sure 99% of the time, ethnicity or ethnic implies some sort of, ethnicity will imply some sort of like genetic or, like a genetic lineage, essentially, is what ethnic generally implies. The idea that like ethnicity is literally just, it's just a group of people that all have like some cultural values. Like you fucking retards are gonna sit here and try to make, like I could ask, like, do you think people are ethnically American? Is American an ethnicity? None of you morons would say, oh, of course it is, but maybe you would just to like debate for this point. But like, it's redonkulous, okay? Somebody before was making the argument of like ethno-nationalist. Sure, maybe, if you want to say that there's like a claim there, but what does ethnically Jewish mean to you? Ethnically Jewish to me usually means like you have like some sort of genetic lineage that is Jewish. What does it mean to you? Do you think if you convert to Judaism, do you think that you've become ethnically Jewish? Or have I just managed to miss these types of people for literally the entirety of my life? Have I missed these people for my whole life? Does ethnically Jewish to you just mean you converted to Judaism or you live in a Jewish neighborhood? I have never my entire life heard that. Destiny, what would you call it? Cuban isn't a race. And if you don't have citizenship, then you're not of Cuban nationality either. I say my mom is like from Cuba. But if I ever say like I'm like half Cuban, I'm like talking about like the nationality of my mom. If racially or whatever, I don't know if it would be Hispanic or I don't know where the people that immigrated, but like Cuban, I would never say like, oh, ethnically, I'm half Cuban and half American. Never in my life have I heard that. These are like nationalities. A significant amount of people self-report ethnicity as American. Okay. I don't care. I'm not getting gaslit on this one, okay? You guys are fucking retarded, all right? I'm not doing that. No shot. I know that like 4 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago prior to October 7th, if somebody were to call themselves ethnically, I would say I'm 50% American and 50%, I don't know, South, like Cuban. Yeah, like you guys, everyone in chat would be typing Omega lols. Like ethnically American, bro? Seriously? Yeah, that. You guys are actually fucking delusional, all right? Hispanic is the ethnicity, not Cuban. What is chat talking about? Hispanic is ethnicity. That's why you can be black, Hispanic, or white Hispanic. Yeah, sure. Yeah, like Hispanic, I've heard Latino, I think can be used for like ethnicity or race, but like the countries, like, yeah, I don't know. What's the difference between race and ethnicity, and how would you define each of them? In the United States, we use race and ethnicity like pretty interchangeably. I think in the United States, I think on the census forms, I think race is usually just asking for like your skin color. Like I think Caucasian or whatever would be like a race, and then ethnicity might ask you more specifically. But in the United States, we use both of these like pretty interchangeably. They don't have like a strict definition for either one. Like for instance, here's an argument. It's not even an argument, but like even if I ask brown people, what's the difference between like Latino or Hispanic? You can get like 50 million different answers. Like people will argue virulently for one or the other, you know. Well, Latino just means you're from a Latin American country. Like, does it? If I were to move to Costa Rica with Melina and have a child, would that child be like Latino? Would anybody really call that child Latino? Hispanic means that you come from Spain. And it's like, is that really true? If the whitest of people, like, am I super Hispanic because my mom at some point, her parents like came from Spain? Like, does it? Like Hispanic and Latino, like all of these identities, I feel like in the United States, like Hispanic and Latino just mean you kind of look brown. Like that's basically it. Destiny, no, they won't. It's very well agreed upon. You're just wrong. That's cute if you think that it's well agreed upon, but go talk to like real life people outside of a Reddit debate forum, and even amongst like brown people, you go and ask them in real life, like, hey, what do you think is interesting, like Hispanic or Latino? Almost like every single brown person I've talked to will give you like very different arguments, like from one thing or another. The idea that it's like super well agreed upon, even by Hispanic or Mexican descendant or Latino or whatever people in the United States, is absolutely not true. That the idea that like, oh, it's super well agreed upon, bullshit.